Day 17.
9 senators refused to vote. That's all it took to collapse everything. Someone kept the power on. The question is why?
Security breach. Level 7. Lockdown initiated.
9 senators, 9 votes. Someone planned this collapse, and they're watching to make sure it stays collapsed.
They thought they had him cornered. They thought shutting down the government would make Trump look weak. Well, they thought wrong. Right now, Chuck Schumer is watching his master plan implode in real time as even CNN admits the Democrats own this disaster. The establishment media can't save him now, and the polls are crushing him, his own party turning on him. What started as a power play to squeeze another $1.5 trillion from taxpayers has become a death mission for the Democrat Party. The American people can see through the con, and what they're seeing will shock you. The finger pointing, the panic, the desperation, it's all unraveling live. So stay with me. But did you know that gold has gone mainstream? You're seeing it everywhere. Prices keep climbing. Every day, more and more Americans are catching on to the power of gold. But how do you actually take advantage of it? How do you invest in a way that's safe, simple, and built for the long run? That's where Noble Gold Investments comes in. Noble Gold specialists are trained to help investors like you go from confused to confident, from wondering what's next to knowing exactly what to do. So whether you're looking to roll over an old 401k into a gold IRA, or you want physical coins and bars delivered right to your home, Noble Gold makes the process simple, safe, and stress-free. You'll get step-by-step guidance, transparent pricing, and U.S.-based service from a team that's handled over $2.5 billion in precious metals transactions. With Noble Gold Investments, protecting and growing your wealth isn't just their job, it is their commitment. Visit nextnewsgold.com today to claim your free wealth protection kit. That's nextnewsgold.com, and see if you qualify for that silver bonus, 10-ounce silver flag bar and a 1-ounce silver eagle. Nextnewsgold.com, and Noble Gold helping you build a stronger future. Or you can call that number, 877-646-5347. Tell my buddies over there, Gary Franchi says hello. So we got the shot here. President Trump heading off to Mar-a-Lago for the weekend. There is the boss. He's like, yeah, you guys can have your rallies. You guys can have your shutdowns. But President Trump has bigger plans. He's got a big fundraiser. Going to raise some money so he can keep kicking ass. That's what he does. But Brian Krasenstein has a different take. He says, President Trump just let the White House on Marine One as hundreds of thousands of government employees are not getting paid. He's headed to Mar-a-Lago for a $1 million plate dinner for his super PAC. Trump doesn't care about you. No, they just need 9 votes. They just need 9 votes and they can reopen the government. So it's those 9 senators who are holding everything up. They're the ones that don't care about you. But Brian Krasenstein, he has an agenda with his paid Twitter posts. But as we've been warning, it's starting to come to fruition. The airlines are now united in shock, a top official declaring Biden and Buttigieg destroyed U.S. air travel, and the industry never wants them back. Nothing but massive regulations take airlines out of the sky for DEI reasons, crushing the industry, all in the middle of this government shutdown where air traffic controllers not showing up to work, calling in sick, and driving Uber.
People in place like Pete Buttigieg. Nobody is pining for the days of Pete Buttigieg. I don't care what political party you're from. If you're in the world of airlines and transportation, nobody wants that administration back. It was nothing but punitive, massive regulations, take 10% of the airlines out of the sky for, DEI and environmental reasons, crushing the industry, completely crippling it. Now you have a president that actually ran an airline, right? The Trump Airlines, loves the airlines, understands its strategical national asset, and is making the real investments, and have put people in place like Sean and Brian Bedford that say, we're going to get it done. They're putting their reputations on it. That hasn't happened before in a long time in government, to say, we're going to go after a $30 billion high-tech modernization infrastructure project, and we promise we're going to get it done. That's real money and real leadership.
They're pining for
real leadership. That's what it looks like. And speaking of leadership, we've got this from the Speaker, Mike Johnson, spitting some simple facts. President Trump told Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries not to shut down the government because it would cause real harm to the American people. They ignored him. Now Democrats have cut off government funding, forcing the administration to triage federal spending just to keep critical operations running. Democrats can make the shutdown stop immediately. All they have to do is pass our clean 24-page bill to keep the lights on.
4-page. The president asked Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer himself in the Oval Office, in my presence and with Leader Thune, to please not shut the government down. Before any of this began, we never had to go down this road. But now that the Democrats keep deciding to keep the government shut down, they are forcing the administration to triage federal spending. Why? Because they have turned off the funding streams, Jake. That is what's happened. They can make this stop immediately if they will just do the simple and right thing. Pass our simple 24-page bill that just merely says status quo, keep the lights on. Democrats refuse to do it. They are the ones that are inflicting this pain on the people. The president asked...
They are inflicting the pain. So how much does public opinion matter? Can that shape the outcome of how and when the shutdown gets settled? Dan Sveller asked the 24 site Tom LaBianco to see what he said on this week's edition of In Focus Indiana. How much does public opinion matter? Well, I've been saying for years that it's just, if you have enough ground pressure, putting it back on the elected representatives, things will change. That is how a republic operates. And I've been saying for weeks, that groundswell is going to come up from the air travelers and the air traffic controllers.
How much does public opinion matter? Can that help shape the outcome of how and when this gets settled?
I mean that to my mind, that is the determinant. And it's ironic because we've been doing this a while, and we've covered a number of government shutdowns before. It is ironic to hear the Democrats use the messaging which used to be used by the Tea Party and the House Freedom Caucus. And to hear the White House, the House Republicans, Mike Johnson, folks like that, using, these are talking points that, almost sound verbatim for what Nancy Pelosi used to say. And this to the question of why the polling is this way, not everybody, most normal people, as much as politics is omnipresent in the news these days, most normal people are not constantly dialed into it. And, really decades of these battles now have, it's baked in. It's almost muscle memory at this point that Republicans take the heat for it. Now, I don't know if that changes. As you've noted, a lot of the polling can vary based on the...
Okay, this guy's getting boring. All right, let's keep going here. Democrat Senator Mark Kelly gets called out for trying to blame Republicans for the shutdown. This is on CNBC.
And only one person in the Democratic Party has broken with the ranks. It's like, I don't understand it. It hasn't been working well for Democrats with Mondani.
This is pretty simple. The government does not have to be shut down. It doesn't have to be shut down. We can
Senator,
fix this here in a matter of just a couple days. This could be easily solved by sitting down at the table.
To get past 60, you need some Democrats to reopen that's what's going to have to happen, Senator. You close the government down because you want $1.5 trillion for all these different things that Schumer wants. It's obvious to everyone, although, maybe you can convince the public that it's the Republicans, but it's not. And only one person...
Getting called out on CNN. You've lost the plot, buddy. Thinking Out Loud says, cry harder, blaming Democrats for a shutdown when you control the House, Senate, and the White House only proves you can't govern. Representative Ron Estes says the Democrats are holding our country hostage because they refuse to pass a clean funding bill. The lack of action is keeping the government shut down.
Levels. It really is sad for our country that the Democrats are holding our country hostage. Several weeks ago, the House Republicans passed a continuing resolution, which basically means we'll continue to fund the government at the current levels until November 21st, while the appropriations process for the entire fiscal year of 2026 is set up. And we didn't want any gimmicks in it. We didn't want any poison pills in that setup. Really is sad for our country. But of course,
the poison pills is exactly what the Democrats want to install. Okay, what do we got here? Nancy Pelosi says the Trump shutdown is bad for us. The American people are hurting and need relief. She says the antidote to his incompetence, cruelty, and lies is to win elections, starting with the big yes on Prop 50 victory in California. Well, she's getting called out by Brad Bold-faced lies, and repeating them doesn't make them true. This is Schumer's shutdown caused by the Democrats not accepting the clean CR. Why are you lying to American citizens? We're not stupid, as you make us out to be. Here's Nancy.
A big win. What we need to do is to be sure that people vote. Some of them are inclined to vote, but...
Yeah, what about the senators, the 9 senators who are not voting? 4 of them abstained from even voting. Is that... yeah. But you're going to call on the people to vote? Sure.
Talk to them. They said, well, I don't even know if I have my ballot. Find it, or let us get you one. But you need to vote. The sooner, the better, because we never know what whatchamacallit may do with the postal system. But you can't take anything for granted. And I know we're going to win. I want a big win. I want a big win. I want a big win. And I want to send a message to you know who. Don't mess with California.
Oh, man. Nancy Pelosi drunk again on camera. Come on, Nancy. Get to those meetings. Your sponsor's waiting for you. Hakeem Jeffries calls Caroline Leavitt sick. She's out of control, demented, ignorant, a stone-cold liar, or all of the above. Eric Doherty says every single one of those words apply to Hakeem and not to Caroline. He's flailing. Oh, man. Dime store Obama.
Speech is a matter of deep concern. Like, we've already seen a rise in political violence and hatred in America. And then you've got...
And who's fomenting that? Hakeem? Who's fomenting that? We got to push back on them. Right? When they go low, we kick them. Right? Oh, yeah, who just got assassinated a couple weeks ago? Who is fomenting that, Hakeem?
Swastikas apparently appearing in the offices of Republican members of Congress. You've got young Republicans engaging in the most anti-Semitic and racist speech possible. Like, this is apparently...
Oh, are you talking about the from the river to the sea? Those are the chants coming from your side, buddy. Free Palestine. Isn't that the chant from your side? Man, this guy is totally upside down, man.
Who many of these people are. They are ripping the sheets off in plain view of the American people.
Unbelievable.
Their words, their actions, revealing themselves in so many different ways. And then you got Caroline Leavitt.
You know, I don't even know how these people can sleep at night. Every single day I see this guy. I mean, the lies that they continue to spew in front of the cameras. Oh my goodness. How does somebody do that? How could someone stare at a camera and straight lie? I guess the only answer is they have no soul. They have no conscience. There's no moral barometer. There's no Christ light inside them. Only darkness, demonic spirits, and hatred. That's the only way these people could possibly continue on in a day-to-day basis, being powered completely by demonic forces.
Who's sick, she's out of control. And I'm not sure whether she's just demented, ignorant, a stone-cold liar, or all of the above. But the notion that an official White House spokesperson would say that the Democratic Party consists of terrorists, violent criminals, and undocumented immigrants, this makes no sense.
Actually, it makes perfect sense. You just imported 20 million of them.
That this is what the American people are getting from the Trump administration in the middle of a shutdown. So their actions continue to speak for themselves, which is why they're on the wrong side of public sentiment.
Hakeem Jeffries, Timo Obama. Keep trying, bro. Here is the great leader of these United States talking about Chuck Schumer.
Okay. Mr. President, do you think that the government shutdown is all about this rally that's happening this weekend, the No Kings rally?
No, I mean, some people say they want to delay it for the king. This is
more
not
than
a king. You know, they're referring to me as a king. I'm not a king.
Right. No, but just so that Chuck Schumer could go and say, I'm fighting Trump.
Yeah, well, Chuck is, at the end of the line. He's being beaten by everybody that they poll against him. And, what he did is he did the right thing. a couple of years ago on something like this, and he got hurt by his party. And it doesn't, I don't think it matters to him. I think he's just so dead that he'll do anything. I think they could just stay out forever. I mean, to be honest with you. Now, what we're doing is we're cutting Democrat programs that we didn't want because, I mean, they made one mistake. They didn't realize that gives me the right to cut programs that Republicans never wanted. You know, giveaways, welfare programs, etc. And we're doing that, and we're cutting them permanently. We're cutting a $20 billion project that Schumer fought for 15 years to get. And I'm cutting the project. The project is going to be dead. It is pretty much dead right now.
Mr. President, do you think
dead right now? Keep going, Trump. Cut it all. Cut all the fat. You know, this just exposes how much of the government we really need. James Blair talking about the Democrat shutdown. He's the White House Deputy Chief of Staff.
Is for that Chuck Schumer has for many years, many times publicly said, you don't shut down the government just so you can debate policy. Policy debates are what Congress is for. That is literally their day job. You don't shut down the government, start hurting people, start hurting the economy just so you can debate about something that should be discussed anyway. It's very simple. Open the government and keep discussing the policy. That's literally what they're elected to do. The fact is, he is being a coward, folding to his left-wing base, who frankly is going to attack him anyway. You know, he just needs to do the right thing, and I hope he does do the right thing. And honestly, we had an okay conversation with him when he was over at the White House with the president, and the president told him very clearly, along with Leader Jeffries, I want to work with you guys on health care. I want to talk to you guys about health care, but you cannot hold the American people hostage. Open the government and let's work on health care and everything else we need to work on. That message was delivered very clearly. The president has said it publicly dozens of times. I don't know what their argument is. What I think is that they really do want health care for illegal immigrants. They really do want to repeal the common sense reforms that we put into law to kick dead people off the Medicaid rolls and these other things. And that's what the left wants. That's what these protesters want. They want free health care for everybody, including illegals. They want things that the American taxpayer should not have to pay for. They have not voted for, and they never agreed to. Chuck Schumer has for many.
All they got to do is get 9 votes. If you liked that little vignette that I played at the beginning of this segment, make sure you follow us on X, because tomorrow is day 18, Sunday, day 19. We'll be posting the continuation of that saga. You'll see more come Monday. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is bigger than a budget fight. This is about who runs America, elected representatives or career politicians drunk on power. Chuck Schumer just exposed the entire Democrat machine as frauds. They control everything, right? Shut down the government, then blame Trump. They demand $1.5 trillion for their pet projects while American families can't afford groceries. Even their media allies can't cover for them anymore. When CNBC calls out your lies on live TV, when your own base starts questioning the narrative, when polls show you're losing, that's not politics, that's karma. So here's my question. Should any politician who votes to shut down the government forfeit their paycheck until it reopens? Yes or no? Let's have a conversation in the comments. And if you want to show the establishment what you really think, check out our American Badass collection. It's shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, because real Americans don't shut down. We stand up.